What's good, y'all? It's your boy Sean P, the Blunt guy. Hey! And we are back again with another reaction stream. And today we will be reacting to the Prince of All Anime. It's definitely a new channel that I found. But supposedly this is a collabo though between him and Marshall D. Preach. So yeah, man, we get a kind of get a little Marshall D. Preach in this video, this theory video, I suppose, right? So yeah, the title of today's video is "We Learned Pluton's True Power in Water 7." Okay, so another ancient weapons videos that we're pretty much getting. This video was submitted to me in the Discord, which is the best place for you guys to send me content. So make sure you join the Discord. I usually take priority when people send me videos through the Discord versus any other platform, right? Like Discord, I'm usually more engaged in Discord than I am in most other platforms aside from YouTube, right? But yeah, anyway, before we get into this video though, first let me start off and say make sure you guys hit that like button. Also make sure you guys subscribe if you aren't already subscribed, and hit that bell for notifications. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And if you are looking for a One Piece community to be a part of, we have the Discord that I was just talking about. That's the best place to send me content and to engage with me. And we also have the One Piece Facebook group. Also, y'all, I pretty much just reopened my Twitch account. I mean, I never really closed it. I'm not saying, but I just updated it and everything. I do plan to start being on Twitch, guys. So make sure you guys follow me. Follow me on Twitch, man. Get them numbers up on Twitch, man. I need my Twitch to be like my YouTube right now. I need it to be popping like my YouTube. So make sure you guys follow me on Twitch. I will start streaming on Twitch in the near future. I will let you guys know. Follow me on Twitter and Facebook and all that. I definitely will keep you guys updated. If I don't tell you guys here when I go live on Twitch, I will be telling you guys on my other social media account and in the Discord, right? So make sure you guys are part of all those things. But yeah, enough of all that, right? Today's video is about Pluton. Pluton's true power. Shout out to Angel. We got Angel in the building with the yo. Hey man. It's Friday, man. It's Friday. It's Friday. Good Friday. Man, you know what I'm saying? So, hey, I'm good, man. I'm just happy. It's the weekend. Yeah, there's gonna be this. I think there's like a UFC fight tomorrow that I'm gonna be watching. Adesanya. I don't know if you guys watch UFC, but Adesanya, who is a beast. This man is, they call him the style bender. Like he's like Avatar or something. He's the style bender, right? But yeah, I'm excited to see that fight, man. I like Adesanya. He very entertaining. So if you guys like entertaining fights, definitely tomorrow should be a good fight. But yeah, anyway, okay. Pluton, right? So the premise of this video is that we learned of Pluton's power back in Alabasta, right? Like we know that Crocodile, or not Alabasta, my bad, what I'm talking about, Alabasta. In this lobby, right? In this lobby, Water 7 in this lobby arc. We all know that was pretty much the arc that we got Frankie and we got back Robin, right? Robin got captured by the world government. So, and Frankie was introduced in that arc, and he also got captured by the world government because he had the blueprints to to Pluton, the ancient weapon Pluton. But one thing we also know is that Frankie also destroyed them blueprints. So it's like, okay, the question would be, can we rebuild Pluton? Like, can Pluton be rebuilt if it needs to be? Like, I mean, well, the first question is, does it need to be, right? Because supposedly we know that Pluton is in Wano. So, if it already exists, does it need to be rebuilt, right? And what were those blueprints for? If Pluton already existed, why do we need those blueprints that Frankie ultimately destroyed in the in the first place? Why do we need them if it exists? Why were them blueprints necessary? You know what I'm saying? Angel said the last style bender. Yeah, definitely, man. That's out of signing for you. The last style bender. But yeah, so okay. But why did we need blueprints to Pluton if Pluton already existed within Wano, right? Because for a while I kind of figured, before we got this revelation that Pluton is indeed in Wano by Robin when she meets up with Kosuke Sukiyaki, right? So we get this big bombshell that Robin knew this whole time since Alabasta that Pluton was in Wano, because this whole time I kind of believed that maybe Pluton needed to be built. Maybe it was something that just need built. That's what the purpose of these blueprints are for, right? But I'm kind of on the fence where I think what I believe about Pluton. I'm kind of and why do I say I'm on the fence? I believe that Pluton, like those whole blueprints, the whole thing with the Pluton blueprints, I think that was kind of a red herring. Kind of a red herring. The reason why I say kind of is because I don't think those blueprints were blueprints for the real Pluton. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously it exists already, right? So what do you need blueprints for something that exists? You know what I'm saying? I think those blueprints are for it's for a human created Pluton, right? Like maybe because what I believe is Pluton could potentially be a sentient living thing as well. Because I've been having issues with wrapping my head around ancient weapons, for like the past few months, and you know what I'm saying, especially talking about these ancient weapons as often as I do. Why? Because back in this lobby, we know that Pluton, we got wind of Pluton back in Alabasta. But since in this lobby, we seen that Pluton, there were these blueprints to rebuild Pluton that Frankie had, that Tom gave Frankie. And so it heavily implies that Pluton is a ship, a traditional made of wood ship, right? That's or it could be made of metal. We don't know what it's made of, but it's made of something like some type of material, like metal or wood or waffle metal. I don't know, But on the other hand, we learned of a different ancient weapon that happens to be a living being. Shirahoshi, right? Poseidon. Poseidon is Shirahoshi, a living thing. So my thing is, why would, or how, I guess, because my idea of what the ancient weapons were, I guess, early in the series were weapons pretty much created or designed in the ancient kingdom, right? But how can some weapons be designed, such as Pluton, and then other weapons just kind of be born, such as Poseidon, right? It's just kind of not consistent. I would think that all the ancient weapons would either be living ancient weapons or, design ancient weapons such as Pluton, right? So how is some ancient weapons like designed and some just kind of natural things in the world? You know what I'm saying? So I'm starting to kind of believe that maybe Pluton is also living. Maybe all the ancient weapons are living sentient things, right? Maybe Pluton is a sentient thing as well, And we know that Pluton is also in Wano. So what could be Pluton, right? That we know is in Wano, right? Well, earlier theory I had was Momonosuke. Earlier theory of what I believe Pluton could be was Momonosuke, and through Zunisha, and how's that? Zunisha you could kind of classify as a ship if you want to get in some ways, like a living ship. And Momonosuke controls this living ship that could potentially destroy islands. You know what I'm saying? Because that's another thing we know about Pluton, that it can also destroy islands. So I believe Zunisha could potentially destroy islands as well. She could trample on the island, or maybe, knock it around with the trunk or whatever. So yeah, I think that could potentially be the case. And then those blueprints that we seen back in Water 7 were it's like when science tries to imitate real life, right? So it's like when people create cyborgs are pretty much artificial humans. So Pluton is a ship, but it could be an artificial Zunisha. You know what I mean? Saying Pluton could potentially be a artificial Zunisha. But that's just kind of my speculation, right? Angel said very hard to talk about ancient weapons, but we will find sooner rather than later. It is hard to talk. They're so mysterious. We don't have a lot of information about them. You know what I'm saying? So kind of is what it is, right? So anyway, though, let's get into this video. All right, so the link to this video will be in the description box, so make sure you guys go show the Prince of All Anime some love, right? But let's get into it.
With Pluton being revealed in Wano, a culmination of 850 chapters of suspense has finally been solved, except for one part. What is Pluton? Well, to answer that question, we must dive into the given information of the ancient weapons. So make sure to stick till the end of this video, as the conclusion we came to is the craziest answer for Pluton yet. Alright, now first things first, what information do we already have on Pluton? Well, so far there's two main things regarding Pluton that we need to worry about in this story. One being the poneglyph in Alabasta, and the other being the blueprints that were given to Frankie to protect from the world government. If we take a look at the poneglyph in Alabasta, we know that it
I'm trying to read what that what it say on it said Pluton I can't tell what that word is in the second line. Rather than it said the bottom line looked like it said Ruiz Chaupli. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if anybody know, like, you guys know what that says, like y'all found, or y'all know of a source that was able to decode what. Because obviously I know the top word is Pluton, but whatever's under it, I can't like decode it, right? I can't decode it. So if anybody has decoded already or knows somebody who has, definitely let me know in the chat or in Discord. I don't know. Angel said, just went back to look at the chapter when Frankie burned the blueprints and Robin seemed to want to say something. The blueprints might have some importance. I mean, the blueprints could be important in a different way, right? Like maybe the blueprints isn't like maybe the blueprints aren't necessarily to actually, maybe they aren't necessarily to building a ship, right? Maybe it's building a certain weapon that works in conjunction to the real Pluton. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe, like let's say if Zunisha is indeed Pluton, right? Maybe you still need to build some type of device that syncs with Zunisha or something, I don't know, or works in conjunction with Zunisha, and it turns Zunisha into Pluton. Like it could be something along that line. I know that sounds wild. It's kind of sounds like a stretch. I mean, I really don't know how to make that make sense, but I'm just saying maybe the blueprints that we seen from Frankie is it's like a build for something that works in conjunction with Zunisha or whatever Pluton could potentially be, you know. But let's continue.
The poneglyph in Alabasta, we know that its job is to reveal the location of Pluton, just like the poneglyph in Skypiea revealed the location of Poseidon. In chapter 202, we learned that not even all the former kings of Alabasta know the secrets of the poneglyph, but rather only know to protect it. After King Cobra takes Robin to the poneglyph, we see Robin deciphering it and gives the answer to what we assume to know for the past 850 chapters. Pluton exists, but Robin withheld the information on where specifically it is, which led to Crocodile going into full rage mode, saying he'll search the entire country if he has to. But according to last week's chapter, that would have been for nothing. Robin finally reveals to us that the poneglyph in Alabasta says that Pluton is in Wano, and Kozuki Sukiyaki confirms that this is true.
Y'all think? Well, nah, yeah, I think Robin did admit that she really wasn't trying to help Crocodile, so I was about to ask you guys, do you guys think that Robin would have told Crocodile that Pluton was in Wano and not Alabasta, right? But I think Robin admitted like she wasn't really looking to help Crocodile. I don't remember. I don't, like, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel as though she admitted that she wasn't really trying to help Crocodile find Pluton, but she was more using Crocodile to you know, Robin, she likes to discover secrets of history and all that. You know, she's a archaeologist pretty much. So she likes to uncover secrets. So she was pretty much using Crocodile to just travel the world and uncover all these secrets. Angel said, I wonder how the world government of One Piece writes everything in English and the Straw Hats are able to read it. But when they go to Wano, everything is written in Japanese and they can still read it. Maybe it's just maybe the world of One Piece has like one language, right? Because when you think about it, every country they go, they never need translators. So it's like everybody speaks the same language. So maybe there is usually, aside from the language on the poneglyphs, maybe everyone just speaks the same language. Even in Wano, Wano speaks the language that everybody else in the world speaks. So that's the best answer I could really come up with. But it's like every time they go to a different island, there's never a language barrier, right? Even when they got to Wano, it wasn't a language barrier. You know, like right away, like Luffy was able to talk to Otama and Zoro was able to, like, everybody's able to manage just fine being in Wano, right? So obviously they can understand Wano's language and Wano can understand their language. So I'm gonna just have to assume that Wano speaks the same language as everybody else in the world, and that all the islands pretty much speak the same language. I mean that's the best. That's the best answer I could give to you right there. I don't have a official answer though. And an Angel says she lied to Crocodile and Crocodile tried to kill her. Yeah, yeah, I do remember. I do vaguely remember that. I do vaguely remember that. And then we got Guerov says hello. Hey man, what's going on, Guerv? Shout out to Guerv. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the channel. Welcome. Angel says, yeah, but everything is written in English, while in Wano everything is in Japanese. But yeah, One Piece world might just be a mix of Japanese and English. I don't know. I think I don't know. I don't know. I can't. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you honestly. I don't have a solid explanation for that. It's not something that I noticed. It's just something you kind of randomly pointed out. So it's not something I ever got to actually think about. I don't know. That's the honest answer I can give you. I think sometimes that's the best answer for situations, because y'all be asking me stuff like I'm older, and I'm not knocking you, Angel, but you know sometimes people ask me certain questions and I'm like, I don't know how to answer that. I don't know how to answer it. But let's continue.
Next, let's look at the blueprints that were passed down to Frankie. We obviously know that the blueprints that were passed down from shipwright to shipwright in Water 7 were blueprints of Pluton, but Frankie reveals some interesting information, and that's the fact that the blueprints serve two purposes. In chapter 399, Frankie tells us that the blueprints he has are indeed for Pluton, but it sort of comes with a backup plan as well. If Pluton were to fall in the wrong hands, like Spandam for example, the blueprints serve as a way to counter Pluton. According to Frankie, the original architect intended for another counter Pluton to be made in case the first one fell into the wrong.
Okay, so I kind of like that idea. Now that kind of gives it gives things a little more context, right? Or it gives those blueprints a little more context, in my opinion. You know, I don't per se think those. I think those like. Okay, so he said those blueprints were there to pretty much counter Pluton. We know that Pluton does indeed exist. So Pluton can still be sentient, right? Pluton can still be sentient, and the purpose of those blueprints are to be used as something to keep the real Pluton in check, right? It's to keep the real Pluton in check. If Pluton gets in the wrong hands, we can use these blueprints to build a countermeasure for the real Pluton. Like we could create a Pluton as a countermeasure against the real Pluton, right? Even though the countermeasure Pluton would be an artificial Pluton. You know what I'm saying? So, because I think Frankie may understand the purpose of Pluton, right? And if he does, when he destroyed those blueprints, maybe he realized that yes, he's destroying those blueprints, but Pluton isn't fully lost in history, right? Just because he destroyed those blueprints. He knows that the real Pluton might still exist, and that if anybody knows how to build the counter Pluton, it would be him. You know what I mean? It would be Frankie. But yeah, let's continue.
Hands. Now, many people speculate that the reason Frankie burned the blueprints was because he already memorized the content it had, and whether it was consciously or unconsciously in the back of his head, he then created the Thousand Sunny only a couple days after.
Yeah, facts. I've also said I believe that the Sunny, I believe that the Sunny is in. I'm not gonna say it was Pluton. I know that I think there is a theory out there, an old theory. Like you guys could probably look it up. I think there was an old theory out there that I've seen that said that the Sunny was Pluton, right? I don't know if I think that is the case, because I don't know if the Sunny has the output to live up to what they claim Pluton can do, destroy islands. I don't think Sunny has that capacity to destroy a full island, right? But I do believe that Frankie incorporated some of Pluton's designs within the Sunny. One being the coupe de burst. I think the coupe de burst might be an addition that was influenced from Pluton. Also, the Sunny has like this cannon that comes out of the lion. I forget what you call that. That it's like the front of a ship. I can't remember what you call that thing. But yeah, like the lion has a cannon that comes out the mouth, right? So I believe like that cannon. I believe that comes from the Pluton design. You know what I'm saying? I believe that's what. Now I don't think the cannon's powerful enough. Well, I think Frankie kind of had to make that cannon not too powerful, because like we know that the Sunny's not like the biggest ship, right? Like I think if the Sunny had if that cannon was capable of destroying the island, I think it would possibly be too powerful for the Sunny, and it would potentially like throw the Sunny backwards, right? So Frankie kind of had to sacrifice on the power output that he can give the Sunny compared to Pluton. That's personally what I believe. Angel says, yeah, CP9 also only sees the blueprints as a countermeasure, and when he burned them, that gave them more reason to kill Robin. And then Angel says a figurehead. Yeah, figurehead. That's what it's called. A figurehead. But yeah, let's continue with the video.
At the time, he was quite unsure of Nico Robin's intentions, calling her a dangerous woman. With that in mind, not being able to trust anybody, he burned the blueprints himself. So what's left is the huge secret that he kept. Before diving into the secret of Pluton, be sure to subscribe to both myself and Preach, since this theory took a very long time to come up with. Now, here's the very interesting part. With this information of the real Pluton being in Wano, and possibly the counter of said Pluton being the Thousand Sunny, what could Pluton even be? And then it hit me. But we could only learn about Pluton's real nature 568 chapters later. We move 20 years into the past, where we see the Roger pirates trying to understand the poneglyphs in Fishman Island. With Odin on their side, they can easily read the poneglyphs, and with some quick thinking, we learn that the ancient weapon Poseidon is a mermaid princess who can talk to the Sea Kings, and they only come once every few centuries. But what intrigued me even more is the conversation between King Neptune and Roger. Roger becomes quite inquisitive on how Poseidon could be a mermaid and seen as a weapon. He asks Charlie when the mermaid princess will be born, and Neptune says he's quite disappointed with Roger's ambition to know about the mermaid princess's death. And this next line is what seals it for me, what pretty much changes the whole perspective on all the ancient weapons. Rayleigh then says to Neptune that they're not looking for the weapons, but for the people who called it a weapon. Oda himself even bolds the word called here on purpose, to emphasize that the ancient weapons might not even be considered weapons in the first place, but are only labeled as such. Rather than weapons, we should see them as allies, and we've already seen that Joy Boy had a friendly relationship with the previous Poseidon, and Luffy has a similar, possibly even better relationship with Shirahoshi. Now, if we were to combine the aspects of a friend rather than a weapon in Pluton, which is a ship, what would you get? That's right, it would be none other than the Klabauter Man. The Klabauter...
So, let me let him finish a little bit.
Klabauterman is the soul or spirit of the ship, and it takes form if the ship itself is well taken care of. We've already seen how powerful a Klabauterman can be, as we see the Goring Mary pushing itself to help the Straw Hats escape for one last ride. Still brings tears to my eyes this very day. But one more thing to note about the Klabauterman is that it's coincidentally one of the main points in the same arc where Pluton is the main point of the story. Not to mention, chapter 351 is where we see a debriefing from Frankie on the Klabauterman.
So okay. So I'm trying to bring everything. So the ancient weapons being like Klabauter, is he just talking about maybe Pluton being the Klabauter man? Klabauter man. I can't even speak today, right? I can't even speak today. I need to rewind it a little bit, right? I need to rewind it from. I want to rewind it to a couple minutes, like about 2 minutes. I mean, it's a short video, so I don't mind rewinding a little bit.
Real nature 568 chapters later. We move 20 years into the past, where we see the Roger pirates trying to understand the poneglyphs in Fishman Island. With Odin on their side, they can easily read the poneglyphs, and with some quick thinking, we learn that the ancient weapon Poseidon is a mermaid princess who can talk to the sea kings, and they only come once every few centuries. But what intrigued me even more is the conversation between King Neptune and Roger. Roger becomes quite inquisitive on how Poseidon could be a mermaid and seen as a weapon. He asks Charlie when the mermaid princess will be born, and Neptune says he's quite disappointed with Roger's ambition to know about the mermaid princess's death. And this next line is what seals it for me, what pretty much changes the whole perspective on all the ancient weapons. Rayleigh then says to Neptune that they're not looking for the weapons, but for the people who called it a weapon. Oda himself even bolds the word called here on purpose, to emphasize that the ancient weapons might not even be considered weapons in the first place, but are only labeled as such.
Okay, so if the ancient weapons aren't considered weapons, but labeled as such, right? So when I think of a ship, right, like a ship with like devastating weapons, right? Like it has like these big cannons that could potentially destroy islands or whatever. That I look at it as exactly a weapon. You know what I'm saying? I look at it as if it was a weapon. But now, if you told me something that could pass as a ship, like on technicalities and stuff, that's living, you know what I'm saying? It has the capabilities of destroying something, right? Such as Zoe, right? Look at something like Zoe that could have the capabilities of destroying islands, you know, being used as a weapon. But it's not necessarily a weapon, right? So, I mean, look, again, you know, I think he's on to something. I kind of agree with what he's saying. I never really peeped that conversation with Rayleigh saying like, "Hey, we're looking for the ones who called them a weapon," right? So, is he saying like the ones that call themselves a weapon or the ones who call them weapons? So like, let's say the person who called whoever the original Poseidon a weapon. You know what I'm saying? Because if he's looking for those people, I mean, why are you looking for those people? You know what I'm saying? So I'm a little confused on that statement. Angel said, "I like this." Yeah, man, it's interesting. But let's continue.
Rather than weapons, we should see them as allies, and we've already seen that Joy Boy had a friendly relationship with the previous Poseidon, and Luffy has a similar, possibly even better relationship with Shirahoshi. Now, if we were to combine the aspects of a friend rather than a weapon
Hey, okay, so thinking about the aspect of a friend, right, rather than a weapon, what other thing has a connection to Joy Boy and Luffy that could be looked at as a weapon, right? Zunisha, exactly. Y'all there with me. You guys are there with me. Zunisha can also be looked at as a weapon, and we know that Zunisha had a connection, a relationship with Joy Boy, right? when we see Luffy pretty much awaken his gear fifth, awaken his devil fruit, what did we see? We see Zunisha said, "Oh, the drums of liberation. You've returned, Joy Boy." Right? Remember Zunisha said that. So Zunisha had a connection with Poseidon. Luffy has a connection with the current Poseidon. Joy Boy had a connection with Zunisha. Luffy has a connection with Zunisha. Or maybe it's not necessarily Zunisha. Maybe it's Momonosuke, And he's about to talk about a Clabater man, right? Like that's what he's about to talk about. What if if the Clabater man is the one considered Pluton, then what if Momonosuke is the Clabater man of Zunisha, right? And Momonosuke is considered Pluton. Now, I don't know if that's the direction he's going, but I'm kind of thinking that's where he might be going. So I just wanted to point that out. But yeah, let's get back into it.
In Pluton, which is a ship, what would you get? That's right, it would be none other than the Clabater man. The Clabater man is the soul or spirit of the ship, and it takes form if the ship itself is well taken care of. We've already seen how powerful a Clabater man can be, as we see the Going Merry pushing itself to help the Straw Hats escape for one last ride. Still brings tears to my eyes this very day. But one more thing to note about the Clabater man is that it's coincidentally one of the main points in the same arc where Pluton is the main point of the story. Not to mention, chapter 351 is where we see a debriefing from Frankie on the Clabater man, and in the very next chapter, we see CP9 raid the old shop of Tom's workers, looking for the blueprints of the ancient weapon Pluton. Now, you must be wondering, how in the world are the Clabater men supposed to communicate? How can Pluton even be used? The answer is simple, and it once again goes back to the evidence of what we've seen before in Poseidon. The voice of...
So y'all, talking about Clabater mans, right? Y'all think they'll ever be more prominent in the story? Possibly, maybe we'll see Sunny's Clabater man. Possibly. I'm just curious. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments if you're watching this later. Let me know if you believe that the Clabater man will make a reprisal. They will make a reappearance in the story with some more relevance. Like maybe we see Sunny's Clabater man, right? Maybe the Mary's Clabater man is still floating around somewhere, and we see Mary, like maybe it's stuck around with the crew and is kicking it on the ship with the Sunny's Clabater man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just curious. I know it's not like an important piece. It's like one of the things like I don't care. I get it. But let me know if y'all think, they'll reappear and make some level of importance in the series. But let's continue.
Of all things. We know that the power of Poseidon is to communicate and lead the Sea Kings, but we can already see Oden and Roger being able to understand what the Sea Kings are saying, mainly because of the voice of all things. We see Roger also use the voice of all things to figure out the messages stored in the poneglyphs, so we pretty much see examples of the voice of all things being used to communicate with the power of the ancient weapon and inanimate objects like poneglyphs. So to combine those things together, we once again come to one concept, the Clabater man. Alright, now I'm gonna leave it to Preach to talk about how Pluton might even be used in the future. Take it away, Preach.
Thanks for having me, and like Prince mentioned before, Frankie has been tied to Pluton from the very start all the way back during my favorite peak fiction Water 7 and Enies Lobby. Tom really saw something in Frankie and Iceberg, but as we know, Frankie is a main character here as a member of the Straw Hats, so that gives him a high chance of still...
I mean, like... I'm gonna say something wild, and it's not something I necessarily like believe. It's just kind of something, just a thought that I feel as though I gotta get out, right? I gotta get this thought out. But what if Frankie's Pluton though? like what if he's Pluton in the same way of Shirahoshi being Poseidon, right? She can control the Sea Kings. What if Frankie can control the ship Pluton, right? Like maybe like he can, you know what I'm saying? Like if let's say Pluton is indeed a ship, non-sentient inanimate object. You know, like the ships that we assume it to be, right? Let's say Pluton is the ship that we expect it to be. What if Frankie can control it in the way that like Shirahoshi could control Sea King? Like Frankie could just like order the ship to do something and it does it, right? Like maybe because Pluton has to be somebody who is half human and half technology, right? So Frankie being that, you know what I'm saying, maybe he would be able to connect the kind of like Cyborg. Like if you guys watch DC, there's a hero named Cyborg. Matter of fact, he was in the Justice League movie, right? The last Justice League movie. So what if Frankie is kind of like Cyborg, where he could become like technopathic with it and like order it through like techno what's it called, technopathy, I guess. Technopathy, I guess that's what you call it when you're like using telepathy with technology, something like that. I don't really remember the name, but yeah, what if Frankie is indeed Pluton? Now I'm not saying I think that's the case, but you know, I just find that an interesting interesting thought to bring up, since you know they're talking about Frankie being connected with Pluton.
Still being tied to Pluton to this very day. Although Frankie destroyed the blueprints, it's possible that there will still be blueprints in Wano, and a lot of people think that Frankie actually stored the blueprints in his own cyborg mind. I think Robin is the key to awakening Pluton, as we've seen many times with Iceberg.
Yeah, I think Frankie could remember blueprints. You know, like Frankie builds stuff like he could build almost anything on like a whim. So like it wouldn't shock me if Frankie could remember how to build. Like if he just remembers designs by heart, like he has a photographic memory. Him being a cyborg, I wouldn't be surprised if he has a photographic memory. You know what I mean? I think he should probably have a photographic memory if we being honest here. But let's continue.
Hinting at this, and maybe even the Gorosei, and maybe we are waiting for Wano's borders to be opened when Pluton is reawakened. Frankie's flashback goes all the way back to Inherited Will, a huge theme that is focused on throughout the entire series, and just like Robin has inherited the will of her people, the O'Harans, Frankie has inherited centuries of generations being raised by Tom, the legendary shipwright. And if Frankie really is destined to recreate the ancient weapon Pluton, or the counter anti-Plutons, how exactly do you go above and beyond and to create something that can stop it? Well, what if Oda has been foreshadowing it all throughout Frankie's character? Because in the flashback where we see Frankie first reacting to the ridiculous battleship of Pluton, we also find out about Frankie's passion for creating the Battle Frankies. He puts in so much care and love to literally bring his ships to life. And another thing to consider is that Frankie always knew about the Club Bottomman legend, so what would happen if he could find a way to bring the souls into his creation? Creating Pluton is truly a terrifying idea, especially with Frankie, who has the potential to create a fleet of super battle Frankies. The true fear of the blueprint's existence was the possibility of creating a replica or devastating weapon, but for Frankie, who has in his own flashback said that he will create Pluton one day, I believe that he will shock the world when he has an army of these devastating powers that can flip the world upside down. The possibility of a Club Bottomman Pluton is that it can have a mind of its own and fight without having to be commanded at all times. If what Prince said about the Club Bottomman having the voice of all things, it's possible that Momonosuke and Luffy could command it telepathically. And I also think it's interesting how fast Frankie is able to build these ships in Wano, so it makes me think that if he builds even 4 or 5 new Plutons, it will be possible as long as they have the right resources.
A Bottomman Pluton though, I mean, I guess it could be a creative way to really incorporate these Bottomman characters, like bring them back into the story and incorporate them in a meaningful way, I guess. If you possibly associate him with Pluton, but I feel as though Pluton in itself shouldn't need kind of like an upgrade, right? It shouldn't need a Clobotoman to make it relevant. Now, okay, I get if the Clobotoman is like it can't operate without a Clobotoman. Okay, I get that. Like maybe the Clobotoman gives it sentience, right? Because we're sitting here talking about these ancient weapons being sentient. We're sitting here talking about how these ancient weapons, being sentient. And me personally, I was going back and forth. Like, I don't get how some ancient weapons could be sentient and, some could be like man-made, right? Like, it would seem like they will all kind of they will all be consistent, right? They will all be consistent. Like, if let's say Poseidon, because Poseidon's case is such a unique case, right? Like it's an actual living being, that comes within certain years. So you got one ancient weapon that it's only born a certain amount of time, and then one ancient weapon just always exists, and then the third one we have zero idea of what it could potentially be. So I don't even know. But now let's say if it is a ship, but it still needs a soul, the soul being a Clobotoman, right? Then it gives it some sentience, so it's not technically an ancient weapon until it has sentience. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe that could be the case with the Pluton, right? Like, Poseidon has to be born, but Pluton has to it needs sentience as well. Like it can be built, but you still need somebody who can give it some level of sentience in order to give it make it into a fully functional ancient weapon. It could be something like that, but I still kind of like the idea of Zunisha, because it's already kind of a something set in the world of One Piece that can make sense being Pluton. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it just makes sense, and it's already something that that's pre-existent in the story. You know what I mean? And we know that it's in Wano. We also know Momonosuke's in Wano and Zunisha's in Wano, or is connected with Wano at least. I'm not saying it. Technically it left Wano because Momonosuke ordered it to leave. But if you consider Momonosuke Pluton, it still makes sense. You know what I'm saying? It still makes sense. Angel said, my prediction is we will see Pluton before August 9th. Okay. What makes you think that we'll see it before August 9th? Because that's super specific, man. That's super specific. But yeah, let's continue.
Tom is the one who tells Frankie to love all of his creations, and what if he was actually telling this to Frankie so that whenever he does create the Plutons one day, he can make sure that Frankie actually does create Clobotoman Plutons in the future. If you look back at how Frankie was as a child, and he was always passionate about creating warships, I think this could be a great progression for his character, bringing Tom's death all full circle.
Speaking of progression, this idea that many Plutons will be made by Frankie allows
I kind of don't like that idea. I don't like the idea of us needing a fleet of Plutons. You know what I'm saying? Because it kind of kills the idea of just, it. Because when we look at ancient weapons, I get the idea of individual weapons, right? Like these individual weapons that you only need one of it, right? We don't need a bunch of Poseidons. We don't need like a fleet of Shirahoshis, right? So why do we need like a fleet of Plutons? It was stated to be a ship, one ship that's capable of destroying an island. So I kind of think it would be I don't even want to say overkill, but I think having multiple Plutons would kind of, because then you would probably have to nerf them. Because then if you have like, let's say a fleet of 5 to 10 Plutons, and each of them could destroy islands each, that's getting a little out of hand, right? That's getting a little. Now, if you want to argue that Pluton is going to be used to destroy the red line, but Pluton, because I think Angel argued this. I don't remember. Somebody in the on my channel, one of the subscribers argued that they don't believe that Pluton is capable of destroying the red line. You know, kind of going along with my speculation on Pluton will be used to destroy the red line, while Poseidon will be used to move the Noah and possibly move the fishmen from the red line, or I don't know. You know, I'm not fully because I even that purpose I'm kind of a little. I'm a little back on the fence about, because I don't know if I believe that fishmen necessarily need to be transported from Fishman Island when they can just swim. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're like, hey, the red line's about to destroy it, we gotta go. And then it's just a bunch of fishermen just swimming away from Fishman Island. But you could also argue that it could be potentially a dangerous swim for every single fisherman to just swim to the surface, right? It could be dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Like, there could be some it could be danger as far as like the danger of sea kings potentially eating some of the fishermen, or maybe some of the other marine life attacking fishermen. Maybe it's just such a far distance from Fishman Island to the surface that it just, most fishermen just wouldn't have the energy to just make that comfortably. It'd just be a long journey that could just be tiring. You know, just imagine like it's like humans, we could walk on the surface, but if I was to tell you to walk from New York to LA, you would probably rather have a car, right? Have some type of transportation. So it could be the same thing with fishermen, right? Like, maybe the journey to the surface is so long, it's just a tiring and enduring journey. So having this ship bring you to the surface, it kills that, right? And then I think Uranus has something to do with the weather. You know, I think when you destroy the red line, the weather's going to get out of control. Uranus is going to stabilize that, right? So, speaking of that, like, if your argument is that Pluton won't be destructive enough to use the red line to destroy the red line, maybe you might need multiple Plutons, right? Maybe you might need multiple Pluton ships to destroy the red line. But I would think that maybe Pluton will be enough on its own, like one Pluton. It may need to, like, attack red line a few times. It may not be able to destroy it in one go, but I think you do it multiple times, it could potentially destroy it, what you guys saying? Angel said the only reason why I don't believe Zoe is Pluton is because of world government and Robin's words last chapter. What were the words of last chapter? And then you say, yeah, I don't think it's capable of destroying red line, but I don't think I argued with you. Yeah, it might not have been you. I forgot who it was. And then Marshall D. Priest says, subscribe to Prince. Hey, yeah, y'all. Subscribe to Prince. The Prince of All Anime. His link will be in the description box. So yeah, y'all go check him out. And then Angel said, Bluff, we see child fishermen do that with ease, so I doubt energy is a good reason for the Noah. And then he said Noah for the humans. I don't know. But yeah, let's wrap this up.
Allows for more people to get connected by the voice of all things. We see Momo and Luffy first being connected to Zunisha with it, but if we can get situations like Usopp connecting with the Going Merry towards the endgame of One Piece, the voice of all things will be able to guide everyone and unify them against one enemy. This whole idea of unifying a group of people is seen as a power, as even Mihawk stated it in Marineford. It was the most dangerous power Luffy possessed. This power to connect everything, people, or even quote-unquote weapons can dramatically change the whole world. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you are new to the channel, please do subscribe. Also, although a decent amount of you may already know Preach, if you haven't already subscribed to him, go ahead and subscribe. Hope you guys have an amazing day, and as always, take care.
What is up, everybody? It's Adam.
All right. Let me go back.
Revealed in Wano, a culmination of...
All right. We gonna give him a like and also subscribe. So yeah, y'all, the link to the video will be in the description box below, so make sure you guys hit that, y'all go to the video we just watched, hit that like button, also go subscribe to the channel, go show him some support, some love, help the channel, all that good jazz. All right, man. So Pluton, man. Pluton is such a topic, right? Pluton is a topic because it's something we pretty much got back from Alabasta since Crocodile, right? Crocodile was looking for Pluton in Alabasta, but obviously Pluton wasn't in Alabasta, so it was just a fool's errand that he was on. Robin wasn't Robin wasn't going to tell him that it was in Wano, so even if he would have stayed looking, he would have still been looking. He would have still been looking for Pluton. Angel said, I like the video, but I don't know about Frankie making more Plutons. Yeah, I don't think I believe Frankie's gonna be making a bunch of Plutons, right? I don't think that's necessary. I don't think having multiple Plutons is necessary, right? And I think it might actually kind of, especially if Pluton already exists, if let's say Pluton exists and you build a bunch more Plutons, it kind of kills that one Pluton, the importance of the single Pluton in Wano, right? Whether you believe it's Zunisha or not, Yeah, man, this whole mystery of Pluton, we learn about it from Alabasta, then we go to Enies Lobby where we meet Frankie, and he has these blueprints of Pluton, which I don't know if that was actually being able to build a Pluton, or if it was kind of a countermeasure. I'm kind of more on the idea of it being a countermeasure and possible replacement for the Pluton that already exists, just in case, let's say, it gets destroyed or something. Let's say Pluton is indeed a ship, let's say it's a ship and it's a wooden ship or a metal ship or whatever, but let's say it gets destroyed for some reason. You might need to build another Pluton, to achieve having a Pluton and what Pluton's purpose is, because I do believe that Pluton has a purpose. I don't think the ancient weapons are just weapons that just exist. I think that they have a purpose, and the purpose I believe they have is in the unification of the world, right? And I say unification and not destruction of the red line, because I think they all have different purposes, right? I think they do play the part in destroying the red line, but I don't think that's the sole purpose of them, right? I think that's Pluton's purpose, but I don't think that's Poseidon's purpose or Uranus's purpose, So I think destroying the red line is just one aspect in the overall unification of the world, right? The bringing all the seas together, creating the all blue, allowing everybody to freely travel the ocean. You know what I'm saying? I think that's going to be the overall goal to what to the purpose that the ancient weapons serve. So I think Pluton's purpose, its main purpose, is the destruction of the red line, and I would think Poseidon's has something to do with the Noah. You know what I'm saying? Now, maybe if the Noah's purpose isn't to bring all the fishmen to the surface, maybe when you destroy the red line, right? Like you look at this big old mass of land, right? That travels across the globe, right? That it sits across the globe. If you destroy that, right? Let's say you destroy the whole strip of the red line. That would probably create tidal waves and possibly some flooding, right? It could create some flooding. So if it does create flooding, maybe the purpose of Poseidon is to pull the Noah, get all the humans, collect all the humans, so they're not, so they don't become victims of this flood. And yes, it's pretty much to save humans from these floods. You know what I'm saying? So I would say Pluton is purpose is something to do with the destruction of the red line. Poseidon's purpose has something to do with either moving the fishmen from Fishman Island to the surface, you know what I'm saying, before the collapse of the red line, or its purpose is to save humans from the flooding that destroying the red line may cause, right? It may cause it. And then I think Uranus's purpose is potentially to stabilize any unstable weather that we get from the destruction of the red line. You know what I'm saying? So I think they all play major parts in, the unification of the world and destroying the red line, but I think they all play different parts. That's just my speculation on the matter. Angel says, but I'm sure Pluton is the reason they've been mining in Udon prison. I kind of think that the reason why they mined in Udon was for the resources, right? The ore. Because one thing we know in Wano, right? One thing we know that Orochi was selling weapons to the world government and selling into other countries, right? A lot of countries that are in the middle of war. Wano is at least under Orochi and Kaido, Wano was a weapons manufacturing country. So one thing you need to create weapons is metal, right? You need metal. Swords need metal, guns need metal. You need metal. You know what I'm saying? So how do you get metal? You get metal from mining ore. You need ore, like metal ore or whatever the ore. You know what I'm saying? You need the ore in order to create like metal things, i.e. weapons. You know what I'm saying? So they're mining this ore in order to manufacture weapons. So, but but that doesn't mean that there isn't like a double reason of those mines. Like, yeah, maybe they're using it to mine ore for weapons, but yeah, maybe they could be looking for the ancient weapon Pluton as well. maybe that's if, but that's if Kaido knew that Pluton was in Wano, because Kaido doesn't read poneglyphs. Kaido don't read poneglyphs. So Kaido wouldn't, he wouldn't have been able to read that poneglyph in Alabasta, right? So how would he know that Pluton is in Alabasta? So as far as we know, there's only two people who knew that Pluton was in Alabasta, and that was Robin, who who knew that that Pluton was in Wano, not Alabasta. That was Robin, who read the poneglyphs in Alabasta, that told her that it was in Wano, and that's Koski Sukiyaki. You know what I'm saying? And he is a Koski, so they know how to read poneglyphs. You know what I'm saying? So how did Kaido find out? I'm not saying he didn't know. I'm not saying he didn't know for certain. I'm just asking, how would he have found out if he like didn't read the poneglyphs, or you know what I'm saying? Angel says, I'm not gonna say anything today, so I'm gonna wait for the future. Okay. And then Marshall D Preach, shout out to Marshall D Preach too. Said, was the Sonny's Clobberton man shown already? I think they showed something that looked like a Sonny form in film red. Yeah, I think it was shown. I think something was shown in film red about it. I don't know if it was shown in like, I feel as though I seen it in the cover story, but that might have been like a fan made cover story that I seen it in. But I did see it in the cover story. But again, I think it might have been fan made, so I don't know if the cover story I'm thinking of even counts. That Angel says, yeah, but why have one of your all-stars watch the prison if they just need them for weapons? But I just see as killing two birds with one stone. Why have your all-stars watch the prison? Probably that's just his job. That's probably the job that Kaido gave. I mean, look, Udon had like some tough guys, right? It had Hyogoro in the Yakuza. And I know when people look at Hyogoro, they don't consider Hyogoro like Luffy or anything, but Hyogoro was also nerfed when we met him in Udon. He was hella nerfed. You know what I'm saying? So maybe Queen's job is just to make sure that somebody like Hyogoro and some of the other strong prisoners don't become threats, and it's just like he's just Queen's just in charge of that operation. It's just if you like, it's just the operation, I don't think Queen being in charge is indicative to Pluton being there. It's just he's in charge of Udon. He's given a task. Everybody in all of Kaido's crew are given tasks, right? That just happens to be Queen's task, is to make sure that Udon, probably their biggest, one of their biggest money-making operations, ensure that it runs smoothly. You know what I'm saying? It's probably all that is. And I'm not saying that Pluton ain't in Udon either. I'm not saying that he's not. I'm not saying that Kaido doesn't know. I'm just saying I don't know how Kaido would have known. And I'm not saying there's no way that Kaido would have known. I'm just saying I don't know how he would have known, because everybody that knows that Pluton is there are people that can read poneglyphs. You know what I'm saying? Like who who would have told Kaido that? You know what I'm saying? That knew. You know what I mean? Who would have told the person that told Kaido that knew? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I'm not saying he doesn't know. I'm just saying, how would Kaido have known? And then if he knew, then okay, I can see that. But how would he have known? And I'm not saying he doesn't know. I'm just saying I don't know how he would have known. There's ways he could have known. You know, I just don't know how. I just don't know if he knew and how he would have known. And then Angel said, I think Koski Sukiyaki told him about Pluton. I don't think Sukiyaki would have told somebody like Kaido about that. You know what I'm saying? Did Sukiyaki even know about Kaido? Because it just seems like all he ever did was talk to Orochi if anything. You know, he talked to Orochi. Orochi was being like, you know, sly and all that stuff. You know, now you could say maybe Orochi heard Koski Sukiyaki talking about it, and then therefore he told Kaido. That may be a little more believable, but I don't see any reason why Sukiyaki Koski would have told Kaido about the ancient weapon. You know, why he would even wanted to tell him about it. And then, you know, let's say you want to say that Kaido forced Sukiyaki to tell him where Pluton was. You know, again, how you would still have to answer the question: how did Kaido know that it was at Wano in the first place to try to demand like? But that, I don't think that's what you're saying. You're saying that Sukiyaki told Kaido that Pluton was in Wano in the first place. I just don't see why Sukiyaki would have told Kaido of all people. You know, that's one of them things where I would have been like, I would have kept that secret. You know what I'm saying? Like, he would have had to find a reason. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, the only reason why I could see Kaido asking Sukiyaki about Pluton is he would have had to have some type of hunch that Pluton was there in the first place. You know what I mean? Which, again, who told Kaido? You know, where did Kaido get that hunch from? And then Angel said, but that's all, and a humanoid Sunny will appear in film red. And then you say, oh, by the way, I'm not saying in Udon. I think Udon has in rehearing from Sakiyaki. I don't know how Kaido would know that Pluton is in Wano. That's what I'm telling you. I don't know any good reason why Sukiyaki would have told Kaido. I don't even think they even really, it don't even seem like he was even aware of Kaido. You know what I'm saying? Like, Kaido was kind of working in the shadows at that point. I feel like he wasn't even really known to be in Wano, you know what I mean, until after Sukiyaki died and Orochi kind of brought in Kaido. So I don't even know if Kaido and Sukiyaki Koski had any encounters or any, you know, like if they even talked ever, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, so but yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that would even come to be or anything, you know what I mean? But yeah, y'all, and our angel say, but yeah, your point are valid, so I won't argue. And look, I get it though. I get it. You know, like, Udon does seem like the prime place to be where a ancient weapon is. You know what I'm saying? And if Kaido does indeed know Pluton is in Wano, hey, maybe that is the purpose of the minds of Wano, right? The prisoner minds of Wano. You know, it's just I don't. That's just my pushback, right? That's just my pushback. You know, I'm not against the idea of Kaido knowing that Pluton is there, and that's the real purpose of the prisoner minds. That would make sense. That would make a lot of sense. It's just ultimately my question is, how does Kaido know that Pluton is there? You know what I'm saying? He can't read poneglyphs, so he I don't know if he knows anybody that does know how to read poneglyphs or knows the information that Pluton is in Wano. You know what I mean? Ultimately, because you know it's not like common knowledge that Pluton is in Wano, so it's like, you know, we only know two people that know that. You know what I mean? That know that. So, you know, that's my only pushback. But yeah, y'all, that's pretty much all I got for the video today. I hope you guys like the stream. I hope you guys like the video we watched. And please thumbs up this video. Go back if you're just watching this, you're new to the channel. Go back, check out some of my previous streams. Go give them some likes and everything. It helps with the algorithm. Also, subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and hit that bell for notifications. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Also, follow me on my Twitch. I just reopened my Twitch. I just started my Twitch again. It's an old Twitch channel, but I never really use it. So when you hear me, y'all might hear me say I just started my Twitch. That's what I mean. I just started it because I never used it. Angel said great stream. Appreciate that. So yeah, y'all go help my Twitch grow. Follow it. I will be starting some gaming streams in the near future, but that doesn't mean we can't, just because they're gaming streams, that doesn't mean we can't continue the conversation talking about One Piece. Or if y'all just want to talk about other anime as well, you know, y'all want to talk about some other anime, yeah, let's, definitely catch me there. Y'all want to talk about anime, movies, other forms of media, catch me there. And also, if you are looking for a One Piece community to be a part of, we have the One Piece Discord and we have the One Piece Facebook group. So make sure you guys go to the description box and go check out all my social media links. You know what I'm saying? Go check them out. And as well as the video that we watched today, y'all go show the PrinceOfAllAnime some love and go like the video and go subscribe to his channel. Anyway, y'all, I am out of here. We will be back on Sunday. I'm thinking of doing a panel, a voice chat panel where I bring people onto the stream and we talk One Piece. But yes, sir. I'll see you guys Sunday. You guys have a good rest of your day today, and you guys have a good Saturday. I'm out of here. Y'all take it easy. Peace.